Are we live now? Before I make a request, I just have one request. Make sure, even when I'm standing here or when I'm over there, you just get me from here on up. Don't get the whole body. That's the only thing I want. That's the only request I have.
You don't look good, we don't look good.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't believe that. Okay, let me know when you guys are ready. Ready? Good morning. Thank you all for being here. On behalf of Metro Council, we just want to discuss what has taken place this week with the weather. And in our comments, we're also going to share some things with you on the weather that we're expecting this weekend. We understand that this snow event has been a hardship for the entire city, not just the west end, the east end, the south end, but the entire city. And we are not beyond understanding your concerns that you have in regards to having access to your homes and shopping and work. So we share your pain. Services have been affected in all 26 districts due to the fact that the focus must be on clearing routes to give access to public transportation and emergency vehicles. I'd like to thank the community members who have brought it to our attention streets that are in need of plowing. For members, council members have forwarded these requests directly to Public Works, and Public Works, they are doing all that they can to include these streets in their working plan to accommodate your request. They have worked around the clock. I probably talked to Deputy Mayor Nicole George about 6 times a day and lead it into the night, into the morning. So she's working very hard with Public Works. I'm working very hard on behalf of the constituents that have forwarded me concerns and complaints. They have also faced challenges as well. They have a new crew that is that has not had the experience in working in this type of weather, and so that's one of their challenges. They're also facing some of their equipment breaking down to get the snow removed and salted. So we know you have been patient, and we appreciate that. And please know that your needs are a priority, and we have not forgotten about you. Thank you. And I'm now going to pass the mic to Councilman Andrew Owen of District 9.
Thank you, Councilwoman Purvis. First thing I wanted to say is I wanted to give a huge shout out to Public Works and the employees that have, like we've talked about, have been working around the clock. I hear all the time from people that other cities do this so much better than we do. Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago, and all these places. And I want to just remind people that we could invest in a significant amount more equipment to handle these types of events. But from my perspective, it would be not a very good investment on our part, because for the most part here in Louisville, we would not use that equipment on an annual basis or maybe once a year. And so that equipment would sit on our lots and rust for most of the year. So when we have an episode like this, it is difficult on everyone. It is not something, frankly, that we're built for. But I do, again, want to remind people that it would require a huge financial investment on our part that I don't think would be money very well spent. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and you've heard this from the mayor's office, you've heard it from Deputy Mayor George, we are always, as an organization, trying to improve, trying to look at places where we can do things better. Are the snow routes the correct routes? They get decided upon, but each time we have an event like this, we do need to revisit those maps and say, does this still make sense like it did when it was decided previously? And those are things that I think all of us are committed to doing going forward. We want to be better and to do better and learn from experiences like this. So I know I'm certainly open to that. Metro Council's open to that. And I've spoken to Deputy Mayor George and the mayor about that, and I know that they are open to that, and we will do that going forward. Again, I do want to reiterate what Councilwoman Purvis said. This is an issue that exists pretty equally across the city. Now, the farther east you go, the more small cities there are, the more home ownership associations there are that pay more taxes and take care of some of these services themselves. So when you drive in parts of town, some parts of town may look like they have more streets plowed, but those are other cities' responsibilities. They pay more taxes, and that's why it may look like this. But this is a fairly equitable issue going around the county, and just wanted to reiterate that. So thanks for your time, and again, wanted to thank Deputy Mayor George for her hard work. I will say, at 6:30 the other morning, I texted Deputy Mayor George, and she was out in one of my neighborhoods. So I wanted to bring that up while I was here. Thank you.
We will now have Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins.
Good morning. The first thing that I would like to say is I want to echo off of my colleague, Andrew Owens. He talked about equitable. This is not a black or a white thing. We've gotten a lot of calls talking about that the urban areas, the East End has been plowed and the West End hasn't. I'm going to say this. Public Works has over 1,900 streets, roads, and it is not a black or white thing or East End or West End thing. Public Works have worked diligently. They've outsourced, contracted, did everything that they possibly could to work with us as council members. All 26 districts, myself, my colleagues, has been affected by this. I want to also say that in the budget, there was money allocated for equipment. And like anything, there's a process with getting that equipment. And I do understand. And all of us are, we're just going to say what it is. We're accountable. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. But I also want to say be patient. For the district that I serve, District 1, and I will say District 5 and some of the other districts, it's the lack of knowledge. The fingers has been pointed to myself and my other colleagues. And this isn't about finger pointing. What this is about is it happened. We're accountable. We've experienced this. We're going to move past it. Even when I walk out my door, I've been affected by this. So this isn't no little you and big us. When you walk outside Metro government where our offices are, we can't go out the front. There's a lot of new employees. So it's just a trial and error thing. We're going to continue to work. I want to say thank you to Public Works. I called Nicole George. I've also witnessed our directors. You're only as good as your employees. You're only as good as the team that you have serving with you. I will say that our team, the administration, have worked diligently since this snow has started to come. The lack of knowledge that some of our constituents and our community has as far as who this lies on, pick up the phone, call our office. I've even put Public Works office on my council page. I'm sure that they're going to give you information to where you can call them. We're just a vessel. We're your voice. I've even went out and some of our seniors helped plow some of their yards. It takes a village. We have to take our neighborhoods back and we have to help. Okay, it's short of staff, so this is something that is not unrealistic. Let's be real here. So I want to say thank you again to Public Works. I want to say thank you to the city for being patient with us as your leadership. and we will continue to work diligently every day. Thank you.
Well spoken. I'm now going to pass the mic to Deputy Mayor Nicole George.
Thank you, Councilmember Purvis. Just want to say that as cold as it is outside, knowing that we've had more snowfall than we've seen in the last 25 years, my heart is really warm. And it's warm because of the way I've seen our community come together. And our work with the council is one example of that. I want to thank our council members on this stage and across Metro for their work with us. There has been incredibly strong communication. They have elevated needs. And why that is so important is because as a council member, no one knows their districts better, right? They know exactly where the problems are. They know where the pain points are. And so making sure that we have good communication with them, that needs are elevated. And I have certainly heard a lot from council members with requests and questions and really helping us problem solve. So just want to say on the front end, going into today and this weekend, our priorities from a public works perspective really include preparation for the snow that's coming this morning, making sure our existing snow routes are clear. You heard Councilmember Hawkins talk about, thanking the community for being patient. We know that, again, because we don't typically see this level of snowfall and these cold temperatures for this long, sometimes it's hard to, know where your snow routes are, to be able to find them, to understand what you see when you see the equipment coming down the street. So there really is, we're all learning here together. We're also, of course, trying to fulfill our commitments to the support we committed around JCPS routes and, of course, around medical institutions and educational institutions. So those are our three priorities going into this weekend. Want to say we need your help. We need the community's help. We certainly feel it from the Metro Council. But, please, when you think about helping the folks in Public Works and on our snow team, that includes fleet and facilities, our vacant lots with code enforcement, solid waste, parks, all of our folks that are pitching in, please help us by considering keeping vehicles parked off of emergency snow routes. This will do three things. It lets the community, it helps the community ensure safety so that we can get as much snow off the street as possible. It also really helps make sure that vehicles aren't damaged. And the third thing it does is it just helps the drivers work as efficiently as possible. And that's really helpful. So please help us keep emergency snow routes clear from parking. If you can, we're not towing, so there's no penalty, but we just really need your help with that. The second thing we need help with is if you're on a snow route, making sure you're calling 311. If you're concerned that your route didn't get touched or if it is dangerous, we want to hear from you. We're also interested to know, as Councilman Owen said, what we can be doing better in the way of continuous improvement. And so calling 311 to report your street needs attention, even if it's not on the snow route, even if that means we can't get to it this weekend because our staff are fully committed to preparation. It really matters in the way of continuous improvement and what we do moving forward. And number three is to please continue, if you're not watching press conferences from the council and news outlets, please watch the mayor's press conference to stay up to date with the most up-to-date information. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Director Jennifer Commissar-Kern to share a little bit about preparations going into this weekend. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Just to echo Deputy Mayor George, our snow team isn't just Public Works. It is also our vacant lots teams, parks, and fleet is a huge part of that, making sure that all of our trucks are up and running, and they have done an amazing job getting them in the shop and right back out. With the snow that's coming in, please know that our teams have been working 24 hours a day since Sunday now. So rotating 12-hour shifts. We're meeting multiple times a day to check in with all of our teams and make sure that they're doing good and have everything that they need. With that being said, we're coming up on a week of working 24-hour days, and we made the decision to call in our emergency contractor to assist. One of the many, many lessons learned in the last week is the faster that you can get the snow off the ground, the less chance it has to take hold. And our contractor, if you remember from back in the spring, that came in to assist our teams on tornado cleanup, they will be running routes primarily on multi-lane roads. So think about your larger, wider roads like Dixie Highway, Shelbyville Road, those routes. And what we've learned from last week is that those are the routes, because we have to make multiple passes, that are taking up a lot of time. And then that weighs us down to where we're taking too long to get to other streets. So the faster we can get to the other streets, the faster we can get the snow off, the less chance it has to take hold and really become a problem. So that is the plan moving forward. We are loading salt now, and trucks are going out to either stage or start spreading salt for this morning's event. And we plan to continue working round the clock until we're through this next round of snow.
This concludes our press conference. Thank you all for being here, and by all means, please be safe. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for including us. And please let us know. Again, we're all learning. We're continuing to learn. If there are specific streets you're concerned about that are on the route that aren't getting attention, don't let Shannon and Pete and